All right, let's go ahead and maximize this, shall we? And then we shall. Well, I won't record. I'll just download from here. Demo day. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Our Life Now and Forever. I have no idea what this is. I'll be honest. Someone asked me to play it, so here I am playing it. Looks like a dating sim, kind of similar to like Date Everything. At least that's when I was getting recommended to play it because we finished Date Everything. I know this is going up before you guys see that I finished Date Everything, but again, you know, check out Twitch, TikTok. We're live there almost every single day, doing gameplays. And for now, we're doing a quick little demo for Our Life Now and Forever. Just go ahead and click a quick little new game. Welcome to the Our Life Now and Forever demo. This is a preview that includes the beginning of the game and a preview of some later events. Okay. Expansions and improvements to the game will come out as time goes on. For example, the finished version will have partial voice acting. This demo doesn't have any voice lines. When the game is complete, the entire story will be playable from start to end for free. However, optional paid DLCs will be available to add in even more scenes. The very start is a brief tutorial that will be skippable in future playthroughs. It'll help you get acquainted with all the many ways your choices can impact how the game plays. Anytime you can press the pref button on the left side of the game screen to open up the settings page and make the experience better suited for you. There it is. You can change the text size, font size, sound, volume levels, turn the volume animation elements on or off, and other general options. The story of Our Life Now and Forever spans 12 years, with the characters you play as beginning as a 10-year-old child and ending as 22-year-old adult. Ooh. In between those points are two other stages of life, 14-year-old adolescence and 18-year-old young adulthood. These time periods are referred to as steps 1 to 4. This demo contains scenes from childhood and a brief look into adolescence. You'll be able to determine determine almost everything about the playable character: name, appearance, personality, pronouns, skills, weaknesses, how they act, what they feel, and more. Whoa! And all those details can change as you grow up over the course of the game. However, they won't be forgotten. Can I go from like being white to black? Can I be Robert Downey Jr.? Anyways, who you are and who you were is remembered by the game and the characters you meet. Choices you pick in step 1 can still be referenced. Ooh, all the way in step 4. I love a game like that. That's why I like Mass Effect so much, bro. The goal of Our Life is to let you truly live your own unique life in the quaint mountain town of Golden Grove. But there are also two lead characters who will grow up alongside your own MC, Tamarek Bonman and Kui Lin. You'll have the option of being their friend, pursuing one romantically, just having them be people you know, letting your connection change over time, and so on. Your relationship is customizable and progresses at whatever rate you want it to, if you want it to. Though, there are a couple limits to what you can do. You can't date them both, or break up with one after officially getting together. If you had a lead become your romantic partner, that's permanent. He said you can't be no damn cheater. You can? You can actually do that? Oh, brother. I might get a little kind of goofy with this. Tamarack is a little girl with she/her pronouns. When you meet her, she always identifies as a woman who uses she/her pronouns. Got you? Q begins the story as a little boy who has he/him pronouns but questions their gender as the years go by. Q ultimately come out as gender fluid. Got you. Q's pronouns are only they/them in step 2. They use he/they in step 3 and 4. Our Life Now and Forever doesn't include the option to romance a strictly male identifying character, but we do have another game, Our Life Beginning and Always, if that's your preference. Ooh. There will be other characters to interact with and befriend besides Tamarack and Q, though those two are the main focal points. How will you get along with other kids, your teachers, your mom, and so on is still in your control. With those basics mentioned, the tutorial will move on to a new screen now to explain another major gameplay element. First thing you'll do in Our Life Now and Forever is design the appearance and basic details of your character. You'll be able to select a first name, last name, and add a nickname too. You can also give your MC their general size, choose their dominant hand, and so what the freak? Their dominant hand? The gender of the MC is customizable as well. That'll be addressed more later. The remaining parts of this section are all the many ways you can edit the appearance of your character. A cute dress-up doll icon is included to give an idea of what your playable character is like. Give me 1 second. I'm getting a text and I don't know what it's going to be about. Okay, cool. You can change every aspect of the doll, from the shape of the head and eyes to the hairstyle to the coloring of each element to what they wear. The customization can be extra unique by having the hair and eyes be 2 different colors. Okay. Tweaking the exact tint of the color by flipping the direction of different elements, and more. There's even one special tint that allows you to exactly match the hair and or eye color of your biological mom in the story. Or you can stick to preset options if you're happy with them or want to get through the customization faster. You can randomize MC gives. Text box your character game has a first person perspective. Oh. So you don't see your MC standing alongside the non-playable characters. So when do I get to see my character? The first round of designing will set some important basics like eye color and skin tone that will never change for the rest of the story, but almost everything else can be altered eventually. You get the option to use the screen to recustomize your MC significantly at the start of each new step. You'll be able to change your first nickname, pronouns, hairstyle, with what they wear, and etc. Scars if you want. Okay. If you want your MC to be simpler or something, school, you'll be able to do that too. Okay, cool. New characters. Nice. Okay, let's do it then. Oh yeah, we got a little bandage right here. We'll put a brown one on because they have those colored ones. You know what I'm saying? Cool. I'm gonna keep it on the. Well, I'll put it on the right side. Any extras? We got scars. This kind of crazy. I don't need any like crazy. Well. Be like that. Nah, actually, I was attacked by a crazy vampire. It got both sides of my just put it right there. There. I've got scars on both sides of my neck. Oh, no. I did the wrong thing. What happened? Oh my god, I scrolled. You know, I think I'm good. Fine, we got back to it. First name is Frankie, last name is Second. No, we're gonna call ourselves. Okay, can you backspace? There we go. Tay, hold on. And we're gonna call her last. Come on now. Holton. Oh, Holton. Tay Holton. And our nickname is gonna be Ho. Dominant, I'm right-handed. I can't be ambidextrous. I'm not that cool, unfortunately. 2 different ones is so cool. Alright, cool. And then my body type is like a medium. And I'm like, you know, I'm an average. I'm a short king, kind of, but not like I'm not like a short king. So we'll keep it at that. Let's see. Hello from the tutorial again. Now you get to customize a new MC. Like the MC's appearance, you can make this aspect of your character as personalized as you want, or make it. Such is going to be added on you. You can also change everything except your assigned gender at birth at the start of every new step. If you want to begin with one type of identity and then have your MC go through transition once they're older, that's completely doable. Feel free to select whatever feels the most comfortable at the stage of the story. Bet. I be he, him. Be custom. I'm not going to do that. Male and male. Yeah, bet. Honorific. Oh, yeah. Mr. Tay Holton. Mr. Tay Holton, Sir Tay Holton, Madam Tay Holton, Miss Tay Holton, Miss Tay Holton, Mex Tay Holton. I'm going to say Mr. Tay Holton. Masculining. Son, boy. Child, kid, daughter, girl. I'll be masculine for now. Yeah, we're good. Now that you got your own character ready, you'll be able to influence the appearance of your biological mother. Ooh. Oh shit. Okay, mom. So if your character happens to look nothing like their mom, it can be assumed that they take after the off-screen father instead. Also get to choose what term your character refers to her by. Currently, it must be a title in order to make sense of the script. If you enter in her first name, the phrasing won't make sense. Later builds of the game may be suited for calling her by her name instead of a title. That's kind of fucked up. It's like Aunt May. I could be Spider-Man in this game. You'll also be able to change the title you use for her at the start of every new step. Her skin tone and hair texture will remain consistent with the rest of the game. Mom. My mom is light-skinned as fuck, I'm not gonna lie. But we can't change her tone specifically. We'll keep her like that, I guess. Can I change her skin color? Or her hair color? I can't. Let's call her, since it is my actual mother, we'll call her by her actual name. Charlene. And we've got a last little bit of customization before the story begins. Your interface display title. First, there's your sticker. A sticker is just a charming little image that appears in certain screen graphics, such as choice menus and, most importantly, save files. You can easily track different playthroughs by using different stickers, and your sticker can change whenever you want by clicking the info button on the sidebar and going to your details page. Change sticker. Oh. Thank you for reading the beginning tutorial. Yeah. You know, I really do fuck with... Oh, this is a blueberry muffin? I fuck with blueberry muffins, though. But I also like mushrooms. No, I kind of like heavily rock blueberry muffins. I'm gonna keep that. You, a visual novel style layout with icons. You, a visual novel style layout with icons. You, a comic book style layout with icons. Ooh. You know what? Let's follow this one. How's that looking? Good? Alright, y'all. We're in the demo. No more customizations, we're just in here. She got some water because I'm going to be talking a lot. It looked like fall in Golden Grove. More than any place you'd seen before. It could be in one of your old picture books to show little kids what autumn was supposed to be. There weren't any green trees or bushes, but there weren't just bare branches yet. It was almost the same as normal. All that had changed were the colors. Red, orange, yellow, brown. Even the blue of the sky high above your head seemed different than it did in summer. It wasn't as bright either, as though it had gotten tired of sparkling by this late in the year, or like it wasn't even farther away from you now than you were in this place. Wow, my reading is terrible. The plants in sky didn't get this way where you used to live, which is Florida, right? Because, yeah, it didn't get like this in Florida. Your thoughts continued to jump around while you stood there in the big circle of street at the end of the road. We call this a cul-de-sac. It was a weird path to you. It couldn't take you ahead or to other sides of or anywhere else like most streets you'd gone down. This one only came right here with those big houses. The view in front of you was something you'd only ever seen in photos before from stapled together papers that advertised the middle house being for sale. It had been a picture book to you until this day. Now you knew that it felt like fall here too, because it was cold inside. Chilly enough that you sometimes held your eyes closed for a few seconds longer than usual to try keeping your eyeballs from feeling like they were gonna freeze inside your head. This was a real place. The icy air surrounding you said, and you were really in it. And it was where you were going to stay. That was new. You're Charlene. Did I not capitalize her name? You're Charlene, and wait. Did I choose mom? Okay, okay. I guess I messed up already. You're Charlene. Okay, we're just gonna say mom. Your mom and you had lived in apartments before, and never for very long each time. That wasn't until she got in a big job in this not that big town and bought a big house. You wouldn't be going anywhere else for a long time. Now in that moment, you couldn't imagine being there forever. But that's just the way it was. The old tan house at the very end of the long round road was now your house, standing tall with two other houses by its side. Those buildings were homes too, with their own people living inside. Those people in those ancient houses were going to be your neighbors. Choice. It seemed okay to you. You felt kind of mixed up inside. You were super excited about everything happening. You were mad. There wasn't much you felt about that. It all made you sad. You felt scared. This would really be something you thought. How much worse could it be than what it was like? Coming there had given you hope. Maybe your future would be good. It felt kind of mixed up inside. We're going to say that. Would it be better this way? Worse? Something else? You didn't know what to think. At least your mom was still with you. This was your mom's fault. No matter what, you'd keep looking out for your mom. Yeah, we're going to say that. Just wanted to make sure she was okay. Tay, come on over and take a look. Oh, that was your mom's voice. You hadn't noticed she'd gotten so far. That was enough to bring you comfort, and you made yourself move forward towards the unknown in order to reunite with her. Off the cul-de-sac road and cutting across lines of grass and sidewalk, you reached the picket fence your mom had called from. The gate was unlocked. Unlike the other houses, in front of yours was a tiny gray stone walkway that led up to a couple little steps, and those steps led to a door. You dragged your feet along the rocks and dirt. The small private path was more uneven than you thought, and the tip of your shoe caught on a raised edge between ground and stone. It caused you to stumble up the line right before arriving at the end of the rocks. You said to yourself before carefully going up the tiny stairs. And there your mom was, standing at the edge of the porch, arms folded and waiting. She must have been moving around before because the shiny opal earrings she had on were twisting from side to side a little bit. You knew they were real opal stones because she told you before, the first time when she first got them. She also told you a long time ago that her normal name, not Charlene, was Opal. Oh, okay. Her clothes were the colors of a cloudy day after rain had already come and gone. The kind of day that could be cold and bad, or really relaxing and comfy. It depended. You wondered which way she looked at it from. You didn't know. The rest of her, though, was so much more bold, especially the matching purpley cranberries of both her hair and eyes. There weren't a lot of things out in the world with that color that could feel gloomy. Charlene smiled at you. It made you feel as soft and warm on the inside as your mom was on the outside. I really hate that, man. What do you think? It's a pretty place, huh? I've seen worse junk. I've seen better places. It's beautiful. I'm gonna have my own room, right? It stinks, you said bluntly. It stinks, you said jokingly. It's okay, I guess. I hate this. You stared at her blankly. You nodded eagerly. You shook your head furiously. You refused to even look at her. I have my own room, right? You will, my dear. Her mouth stayed in the shape of a smile, but her eyes and eyebrows changed, bending in a way that made it seem like she wasn't ready to smile, or was some other kind of smile. She put a hand on one of the white painted pole things that kept the porch roof from falling down. Her fingers moved along it. Won't be too much longer. The real estate agent should be here to hand over the keys in a couple hours or so. Then it'll be official. We'll be the newest residents of Golden Grove. You shifted your weight from one foot to the other. This was a big deal to your mom. Her whole life was changing too. You hoped it wouldn't be a mistake. You didn't want your mom to be sad. Well, you've seen the yard on the outside. You don't have to wait here the entire time. How about you go look around the rest of the neighborhood? She bent down, placed her hands on her knees in order to speak directly to you at the same level. It's a safe town, especially in the area. You'll be able to play freely out here. You perked right up at the suggestion. You jumped happily. Your eyes went wide in fear. You grasped her pants, wanting to stay together. You huffled unhappily. You frowned at her. You merely shrugged. Just the neighborhood? That wasn't exciting. You want to go everywhere. You covered your face with your hands, not wanting to go. You turned your face away from her in defiance. Please, you were begging. You weren't a baby. What could possibly go wrong? You didn't need her to say it was okay. You could look out for yourself. We can be a little nervous. You merely shrugged, sure. Charlie went back to her normal way of standing with her head up high and arms folded. You're not having fun, I understand. If you stay here, you'll continue not to have fun, and if you leave, you'll also still might not have fun, but maybe you will. You might as well roll the dice. Just don't stray into another street today. Damn. Yes, Charlene. That's not fair. I won't, I promise. You didn't care about rules, but you kept that to yourself. You gave a thumbs up. You grumbled about the restriction. We're gonna be a little shy, dude. You know what I'm saying? Not too talking, whatever. You gave a thumbs up. Thank you. I trust you. With that, you spun on your heels, lifted your chin, and stomped down the stairs back towards the sidewalk. Mom, I'm really gonna be just out here on my own. Step 1. Prologue. Your shoes really squished into the dirt part when you crossed from where you were down to the solid road. The smell of the grass and rain softened ground, crisp somehow also kind of musty and hung in the air, bringing a whole new year of school with it. You're going to be a 5th grader. It would be completely different from being a 4th grader, and not just because you'd be attending a new school. You'd be in the highest grade of the place. Maybe that was why your mom was so sure you could do this by yourself. You were growing up. That thought didn't make you feel any better about it all. Then, before you took one more step, there was a faint tap against your shoulder. It was barely strong than the wind, but it was definitely something. It was completely out of nowhere. Huh? You wondered what that was. You jumped straight in the air out of shock. Both your fists went up defensively. You screamed, up your shoulder feeling annoyed at whatever it was. It was a ghost, you deduced. Now I'm a little curious. It's kind of weird. You slowly glanced down to the right and left, trying to get an idea of where the poke could have come from. No one was there. The neighborhood was empty, except for you. You would have settled on it being a mystery forever if you hadn't noticed there was a thing left behind from the encounter. Sitting there between the muddy brown blades of grass was something new. Ooh, a paper airplane. Who would have thrown this at a stranger, and why would they disappear after doing it? As you consider those questions, your gaze shifted back towards the right, the side of the street where the tap came from. Whoever sent this to you had to go in that way. You crouched down to grab it, wanting to get some kind of answer to what had happened. Paper didn't feel like the same crinkly, crackly way most normal paper did. It was thicker, somehow almost like a piece of cloth. It was cottony. It was the only part that stood out. The page was a tan color with dark brown lines, not white and blue or white and black or something regular. More questions to add to the confusion. Where would paper like that have come from? You turned the paper airplane around in your hands and squinted your eyes keenly. There was pencil markings on the underside. Paper had scribbles or maybe even letters. That was enough of a sign to undo the shape someone had put together. You pulled the flaps of the plane and flattened it out between your palms as best you could. It was sure the paper airplane had a message. Well, maybe. There were some words on it, but not a lot, and they were on different lines from each other. You read over each tiny part from the top to bottom. Hello. Go out. Hide out. And then in the bottom corner was Tay Holton. Who knows me? It been addressed to you personally. There was no mistake that you were the one meant to get that plane. Who knows me here? You scrunched up your face. A person wrote stuff on a piece of paper, turned it into a paper airplane, threw it at another person, and the message they sent was that? This was too weird for you. That was stupid. This scared you. This was something. It only kind of made any sense in that they were all real words, but none of them meant anything together. So you weren't sure what to make of it. You had to tell your Charlene right now, or your mom right now. You were going to get to the bottom of this. You were done exploring. It was time to go back into the house. You just wanted to get back to looking around. No, I'm going to go ahead and get to the bottom of this. Someone or something had to have sent this to you. You weren't going to stop until you found out who and why. Past the parts where the light shone through the clouds and the parts where it got darker, you began your investigation by heading in the same direction the paper had hit you from. The half circle of houses was out of sight by the time the normal sidewalk ended. And it really ended. Instead of connecting to another street with homes or stores, there was the car road behind you and a bunch of trees and plain ground in front. Going down the road would have to bring you to the rest of the town eventually, but you were sure that would be straying too far, like your mom warned against. That was okay, you had other options. Oh dear lord. Bending in between the dark trunks and bright leaves were two lines stampede on out through the grass. They went in opposite directions. It was a crossroads. One led more towards where the neighborhood was, but back further, right on the edge of where the forest started. The other went completely into the trees, a walking path for the people who lived there. You stood there at the start of this turning point in the woods in your life, feet poised to move over the stirring thicket floor. Now I know where I want to go. There was a path here that was definitely more worth trying than the other. You were sure of it. Something on the inside just told you so. The walking path on the left, yeah. And your quest continued. Once you went through the foresty path, you had truly entered the wild woods. Nothing else surrounded you any longer. Nature spread across the land with the narrow dirt line and fence being the only sign anyone had walked in the spot before you. People were only visitors here. Golden and red leaves gently rushed against each other in thick clumps with each tree's branches falling into the others nearby. Yeah, they got mushrooms growing on it and shit. Yeah, this is the wilderness, alright. It was enough to keep the sky and sun out almost completely, but the leaves burned bright with the light basking over them from above. The foot-made passage continued to twist around up higher in the mountainside, farther than you could see. I know my mother is worried right now. My mother has to think I got kidnapped already. Day one, I'm already kidnapped. I ain't gonna lie. This is my kind of place. With your wide, wondrous gaze thrown everywhere which way, you let yourself flow deeper into the thicket. The quiet bubble that existed here in the forest, away from the town, popped from a sudden unnatural clatter. You stopped. It was a whooshing, thumping, and stirring up of leaves, like something had crashed into them. You knew for sure that wasn't the wind. It had to be an animal, or a person. And it came from right over there. Picked up a stick to throw that way just to see if something happened. While keeping your gaze trained forward, you bent down and felt around for a good-sized branch or something else that you'd be able to throw far, but still have enough weight to get through the trees. Once you wrapped your fingers around the chunk of bark that work, you stretched your arm back behind your head and then threw the stick in front of you. It flung forward and noisily disappeared into the bush. You couldn't see where it landed, the leaves swallowing it up whole. That's all that happened. Nothing jumped out at you. It just got quiet again. You went through the bushes to look directly. Yeah, if nothing's there, then I'm good. You pulled up your socks and began to make your way off the path through the overgrowth. It was hard to keep your footing on the slanted, untrimmed ground. When you reached a really tree-cluttered spot, you grasped at the branches and pushed them aside in order to open enough space for you to get past. You moved them the same way you'd open up a set of curtains, but it was a lot harder to do. The tiniest branches couldn't take the bend and snapped from the pressure. You could feel the splintering ends of the plants scratch a little at your face and clothes. It wasn't as smooth of an entrance as you'd hoped it would be. On the other side of that tree line was still the woods, but kind of an empty part. There was a lot of open ground with no trees or bushes growing and a ton of leaves that were gathering into piles. Past the clearing, the trees were back and even more closely pressed together than they were by the path. It was mysterious. There was nowhere easy to go, and nothing seemed out of place to you. Until... Ah! A person! In overalls! Hello! That's gonna be the voice? Is that gonna be the voice, though? I think it will be. There was a shout, and a new whirlwind of leaves rushed through the air. From underneath one of the piles was a kid. You knew that was going to happen. Eyes, they were really red. Goddamn. They had sparkly hair, you notice. You liked the scarf they had on. There were leaves stuck in their hair and clothes. That was the prettiest person you'd ever seen. Alright, well, I'm not following head over heels yet. Let's be on some Attack on Titan shit. You liked the scarf that they had on. You stared at them, and they looked right back at you as everything they'd thrown into the air gently drifted back down. Were you in there this whole time? No. I heard you coming. The kid kicked their legs up and down in the leaf pile that surrounded them. The crunch of dried plants finished the message. I went to hide just now so I could jump out when you got here. They talked about it like it was the obvious thing to do, and your reaction was confusing to them. What would you have done if I didn't come? That's so dumb. You have anything else to say? What would you have done if I didn't come? That got the stranger giggling. I would have gotten out after a while and played some more. Wait here. The jumping jack kid hopped again, but this time it was to get up off the ground. They dashed the opposite edge of the open space, leaving scattering behind them, dropping out of their clothes and being kicked up by their steps. You were already wondering what was going to happen next. From behind one of the tall, crooked trees, the kid began throwing sticks and other plant pieces around. They were uncovering a hidden treasure, a big brown bag. I appreciate it, Kenneth Stowe. They had to use both hands to lift the pouch and get it over their head. The thick strap pulled tight under the strain of the weight attached to it. The line of their mouth looked just as strained. The stranger huffed when they released the bag from their fingers, letting it rest completely across their shoulder. You heard stuff bumping around inside from your position way over here. It was a really full pack. But it didn't slow that kid down. They ran back at full speed to meet you where you were. When they were in front of your face, they gave a wave and asked a question. Oh, whoa. Does your hair have two colors? You suddenly had a stranger tilting their head all the way to the side, trying to get a better look at your hair. I mean, yeah, it's just because, the backside gets more sun or whatever. It's not special or anything. Thanks for noticing. Do you think it's weird? It's pretty cool, right? You don't have to yell about it. You just looked away pretending you didn't hear. Your cheeks felt hot and you couldn't speak. You stood tall and lifted your chin. It's pretty cool, right? Whoever they were hummed a happy reply. Yeah, it's fancy. The kid then kept talking like that whole thing didn't even happen. Hi, are you a girl too? Do I look like a girl? Why would you think that? You asked curiously. No, why would you think something like that? You asked, feeling insulted. You know what? We're gonna feel insulted because we are a kid. Kids love that. No, why would you think something like that? I don't know. You could have been one. But you're not. Okay, boys and stuff are just as good. What's the right answer? I'm a boy. And then it was like all the clouds and sky and her head, you guessed, had cleared away. Alright. And all of a sudden, the leafy girl seemed to remember to introduce herself the way most people do. Yeah, what's your name? I'm Tamarack. Tamarack is a weird name. Tamarack is a weird name. Alright, that sounds nice. Really cool. Tamarack, what does that mean? Tamarack, that's a tree. A normal word and not a name? What does that mean? A tamarack is a kind of tree. I like it a lot. So, what's your name? Would I give her my full name? My name is Tay Holton. It's Tay Holton. Nice to meet you. Your name was written on the inside of your jacket. You showed that to her. You had an old library card with your name on it. You let her look at it. You know what? I'm gonna say my name is Tay Holton. Nah, I'm Tay. Wow, hi Tay. She greeted you with a finger spread wave of her hand, as sweetly as if you'd always known each other and she'd done it 100 times. Do you like it, your name? Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like it. People should call me Tahoe. Only my Charlene, my mom, uses my name. People sometimes call me Tahoe, except my mom. My friends always call me Tahoe. That's not true. But my friends sometimes call me Tahoe. Somebody calls me Tahoe except my mom. Yeah, I said that one. Well, all right. Why are you here? Where did you come from? Are you visiting? She piled on one question after the other, letting them bubble out like her laughter. My mom and me just moved into a house. I live here now. Tamara gasped, her large eyes opening even wider. They were full of sparks. Me too. I'm new too. Wait, really? Okay. I moved to live with my Omi and Opa. They have a house here, and I'm gonna be there now. What's that? Are those your parents' names? Omi and Opa? Nope. I'm using her voice by accident. Nope. Obi and Opa means granny and grandma. It's German. Okay. Are your parents dead? Kids can be assholes, bro. I really should play this like a kid and just ask dumbass questions. She asked me a dumbass question. It's fair if I ask them like that. But I won't ask them that extreme. Why don't you move in with them? What about your parents? Let's ask that question. They're busy and not at home. I wouldn't go to school or do anything if I stayed there. So I'm gonna live with my Omni and Opa right now. Okay. Kids don't give a fuck. Her explanation wasn't finished just yet. And I'm busy too. You are? Yeah. I've been here 5 days and it's really good. There's so much out here I probably won't be able to finish. I probably won't be finished for a long time. Months maybe. This is my very first day in Golden Grove. Wow, that's barely different at all. We're a match. She furrowed her extra short eyebrows as much as she could as a new idea came to her. Hey, I'm a girl and you're not, but we're both new, and what if we were the same age? I'm 10. You nodded yes. You popped open all 10 fingers. You were the same age. We are the same. Why do you even care? You're 10? So am I. I keep using her voice. You know what? Fuck it, bro. I'm going to give her a regular voice then. Because since I'm so keen on using that voice for myself, I'm just going to steal her voice and use a different one. Okay. We'll go ahead and give her a more appropriate voice for someone of her age. Hooray. Same age forever. Happily, Tamarack held onto the worn strap of her big bag and bounced up and down in place. You decided that this was the perfect time to talk to her about what you're doing. I'm kidding, y'all. I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. That shit's going to kill my voice, especially if I have to voice her. Yeah, I got hit with the paper airplane a little while ago. Was that you? Are you paper airplane person? Ah, yeah, you got it. That's going to be her voice. I did? Whoa! She flung her arms up over her head in celebration, knocking her bag out to the side. It made a thump noise, when it swung back against her. My aim is good. You blinked at her in disbelief. You done it. You found the mystery person who made that strange paper airplane message. She was entertaining, you thought. She was loud. It made you nervous. Couldn't believe the trouble she set off. You smiled to yourself shyly. She was loud. It made you nervous. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. Yeah, let's ask this question. How do you know my name? You told me. No, before that. What kind of secret agent are you? I didn't know it before that. What? You thought you knew what disbelief was a second ago, but hearing that made you feel it in ways you never had before. The stunned look on your face got Tamarack to add more. The paper I used wasn't mine. It was litter in the woods. I picked it up and put it in my bag because I couldn't leave it in there. Because I leave it there on the ground. Then when I saw you standing in the road, I just had the idea. I could do something fun with that garbage by making a paper airplane for you. So you didn't write anything on it? Yeah, I didn't. That part makes sense, but this is still confusing. Okay. That was all she said. Tamara couldn't tell you anything more. The person who wrote that strange message for you was still a mystery. You hadn't found them even after meeting the paper airplane person. I do enjoy a little bit of mystery. You were thrilled that the mystery had deepened. This was so much more exciting than you had thought. You started thinking more and more about this, making plans in your head. Tamara could tell something was going on with you. Tay, what did the paper say? Was it funny? Do you think random stuff is funny? It was short, and all the parts were on different lines. The words were hello, go out, hide out, Tay Holton. What? So weird. Who would write that? I'm not sure. It's strange. She took a big hop closer to you, a smile growing across her face as she landed. You should keep going, and I'll come too. The paper isn't very old. It would have gotten wet or eaten by bugs if it was out there in the forest for a while. We could track them down and ask them what they were doing. Okay, I was gonna ask, well, alright, if you really want to. Yeah, I could use more eyes looking. Thanks, I would be scared to go alone. Agreement, no way you have to say here. Sorry, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna nod in agreement. We're still a little bit stoic, you know what I'm saying? Woohoo! Tamara snatched up a nearby stick off the ground and directed the pointy end forward, the way you had come from. We're gonna find the litterer who puts weird things on paper. And so you started to walk along the brown fall brush again, now with your new partner in adventure. Tamara came along from behind you with eager, skipping steps. She was right. You were going to find that note writer person who knew your name. Soon you reached the head of the path. You were at the crossroads once more. But you brought back knowledge and this new girl with you. So that's the one we were on. Use one half outstretched finger to point at the forest walking path, though you realized she probably didn't need you to do that. You bashfully tucked your hand around your back instead. Then, while twisting in place, you tried to keep going like nothing happened. And now, there is only the road, but I haven't looked at that other way on that side. Now you try pointing again, directing her gaze towards the second dirt imprint at this fork passage. With her lips shut in a tight line, she nodded rapidly and with seriousness. Only for a second. Then she was perky again. She was having fun and only pretending like she wasn't always so silly. Yeah, okay. Down the tree path for you and me. The decision easily made your and her crunching footsteps started up again in unison. And still your quest continued. The path ended up being kind of a trick. You ran out of dirt to walk on after only a minute or two. It became plain grass everywhere. Luckily, you only had to keep following the curved bend of brush and tree trunks that separated the forest from not the forest to know you were going where you had planned to go. Tamarak hummed a happy tune, not bothered by the change in the ground at all. You made eye contact, and she started to speak words instead of music. It's been good that we're looking this way. Walking down the road that goes to the town would have been bad. Do your Omni and Opa have a rule against that too? I don't know. Then how come? Her eyes went wide. Whatever news she had to give must be something awful. Tay, you have no idea because you just got here, but I've seen it. The town here is bad. What the fuck does that mean, lady? What have you been seeing? Serial killers? Nobody's going anywhere or doing anything. They just live in this place, sit around, and do that forever. You could never have fun here. She spoke gravely, giving the topic a moment of silence. After that, her spark came back, lighting up her features. But it's all okay, since it's right next to here. Tamarak hopped along, directing her stick to the tree line at your sides. Everything in this forest is growing or dying or changing, no matter what. You look at one spot, you look at a different spot. You look back at that spot and you'll see something new you didn't even notice before. She spreads her arms across and up in front of your face playfully. It's magic! Wow, you're right. Then as you strolled even further, something came into view. You almost didn't notice it at first. Ooh, stretching about as high as the trees and made out of practically the same colored wood was a tower sort of thing. Bottom of it was mostly empty space with thin stick poles at the corners and only one full wall. There were little fake rocks stuck to the boards of the wall side, probably for people to climb on. Above was an actual floor with a slanty roof and railings around. Some ropes dangled off it in multiple places. The thought came to you that it had the same feeling as a treehouse, except not in a tree. Definitely wasn't a real house. You might have found a local playground. A squealing whisper came right into your ear. Tamarack had noticed the wood thing too. Let's go see it. She pulled away from the side of your head to march to the tower without waiting for you to even answer. Cautiously, you moved closer until you came to a stop because you had the shocking realization that there was something up in there at top. Your eyes wide and your neck bent back so far you might fall over, you can make out a lumpy pile. Give it a kick. In a blink of an eye, you'd pull one leg behind you and swung it at the board closest to the ground. The tower didn't move at all. The stripe made a thwack noise and hurt the tips of your toes. Fuck! Hello? Hello? Is somebody home? A sudden sound of clattering ruckus from inside the fort made you flinch in place. It was a scrambling, thudding noise that you knew came from movement. The lump stopped being a lump. It shot up, bent right over the railings, peered down, and saw you. Whoa, you've got a fur coat too. It was another kid. Who were they? That's all you could wonder. You couldn't even look away from their eyes. They're really deep brown. They had a pointy hairline, you noticed. You liked the fluffy hooded coat they had on. I mean, like, you know, they got that shit on. A silent standoff of surprise played out between you and the stranger. Then, all together, one half of their mouth, one of their eyebrows, and one of their hands shifted upwards. The lopsided pose that had... Hold on now, why'd this person get a cool theme, all upbeat and shit? The lopsided pose that they had and the fact that they were at the top of the tower made them seem pretty in charge there. Who are you? Why are you... Hold on, how do I want to do their voice? She's like this. I'm like this. I can have him do like the little like Uzumaki voice. Who are you? Why are you in my backyard? Oh, they were in charge here. I'm sorry, I'm looking for something. Who are you? Yeah. Who are you? Somehow they twisted their smile and leaned over the railing even more than before. I'm the person who actually lives here, and I asked first. At a point which was annoying. They were funny, you had to admit yourself. You didn't care if they had the high ground, you stood by your question. You know what? They were funny and you had to admit that yourself. Admit to yourself. Fine. They closed their eyes, making peace with the situation. I am hosting a visitor and we will be respectful. After doing her own snooping, Tamarack skipped out from under the tower to join you in the stranger's eye line. She didn't miss a beat, waving an introduction herself to the new person. Hiya, I'm Tamarack. Hey. At that, they pressed the palms of their hands hard against the railing, then used it to kick their legs up over the side, and throw themselves right off the fort. Oh, it's Tahoe LTD if it ain't Tahoe LTD from Battlefield 6 Reactions. Hi, New Elite Support Team. Tamarack says, whoa. There was a powerful crunching gust of air when the person hit the ground, just a little to the side of where you were. They landed on their feet, crouching into a ball and making the hood of their jacket flip over their head from the impact of falling so far down. The person stayed like that for long enough that the leaves they stirred up settled quietly on the grass again. Then the kid, oh shit, they're tall. Then the kids straightened themselves out with more poise than you could have expected. Squared shoulders, chin up, and with one hand they pushed the hood down over their back again. They were confident and knew how to show it. That's that! It seemed dangerous. That was so dumb to do. Could you try jumping off there? Could I try jumping off there? I'm not that bold. Could have crushed me. Speechless, it was impressive. Speechless, it was crazy. That didn't really impress you though. Anyone could have done that. It wasn't special. You know what? It was impressive. I'm gonna say that. He was so peaked, I can't wait for its full release. Me too. They took hold of the open sides of their jacket and flapped them out, shaking off bits of sticks and whatever other stuff that got on it when they collided with the dirt. Anyway, they shifted their head around to get their hair back over their shoulders, the way it was before, and then jabbed a finger into their own chest. I'm Mr. Lin. Q-I-U and L-I-N. It means both of Q's arms are spread out openly, gesturing to the wide world around them. What? Autumn. Nice to meet you. What are your whole names? Through chuckles, Tamarack put on a fake voice that was deeper than the normal one and probably meant to sound mature. I'm Miss Tamarack Bauman. A tamarack is a tree. That introduction got a thumbs up from Q. Cool, Miss Tamarack Bauman. I mean, I can't let her show me up. So you gotta write it down in dirt. Shouldn't the U come after the Q? Wait, I already knew Q meant autumn is Chinese. I didn't know that. I'm Mr. Tay Holton. That was perfect, Mr. Tay Holton. Oh, but I've got a nickname that people sometimes call me. Tahoe. Cool. I've got a nickname too. It's Autumn. Because like I said, that's what my name means. You can use it if you wanna. Alright. Wait, and also, how old are you two? We seem pretty similar to me. Alright, enjoy the beta. Now I'm trying to work on the Battlefield 24 2 pass. I'm trying to do that too. Honestly, I really have to get that thing going. It's pronounced Chiyu. Thank you. I had a feeling I was pronouncing it wrong. I'm trying to get that beta pass unlocked so I can get all that stuff for Battlefield 6. Chiyu. Okay, got you. Wait, and also, how old are you two? We seem pretty similar to me. Me and him are the same. 10. Chiyu slapped his fingerless gloved hands against the front of his chest to show just how taken aback he was. Whoa, so am I. Nobody else close by was exactly 10 before, and now there's 2 more. Wow, we came at just the right time. You did. And you two are gonna grow up someday, and I'm gonna grow up too. That's never gonna stop us from being the same age. Cool. He stood there quietly. Okay. Even if we are the same age, I still act older than you do. Even if we are the same age, you still act older than I do. I shrugged over it, yeah. So what if you were the same age? Chiyu. But the talk you were having ended with a clear clap from Chiyu to bring it to a close. Now that we're people who know each other, I still want to hear what you were doing. I've lived my whole life in this town, in this neighborhood, in that house, and I've never seen either of you anywhere. There's got to be something going on. Tamarack's wide, knowing gaze met yours. You understood what you had to do. Well, you reached right into your pocket and presented the mystery paper to Chiyu, wanting your own explanation. Yeah. How do you know my name? Before you even said anything about it, Chiyu wheezed with a tight grimace. He looked as stiff as the wood tower behind him, just like that. You're... He stammered and babbled, and pointed his finger all around the space that was sort of in front of you, until the world finally came to him. Neighbor? Oh. A sorcerer. A sorcerer? Oh, what? No, wait! Chiyu threw his hands up higher towards his shoulders, the sudden movement making sure nothing interrupted his train of thought. You're a thief! What the freak? How? That's why you're here. To rob my house. because I'm black. Wow, that's crazy. Jeez. Racial profiling at 10 is crazy, Chiyu. That's right. I'm gonna steal all of your stuff and then encouraging it. Oh wait, hold on. Can we save? I should probably be saving. Just in case. No, you were right before. I'm magic. I'm a sorcerer and a thief. I'm not a sorcerer or a thief. Why do you sound so excited about that? You think I'm gonna rob you? Yeah. Because I figured it out and I caught you. Do you really think I'm a robber? He got all fluttery with his laugh and all the waving of his fingers. No, you're just a kid. But you've got some good tricks. Chiyu tucked one of his hands inside his jacket, moved it around in there, humming the whole time. There's some kind of secret pocket or compartment in that coat. Aha! Just as you thought, when he removed his hands, he was grabbing onto something. It was a little notebook. Edges were bent up and crumbly, probably from being squished a lot of ways and a lot of times. And there were papers sticking out in weird ways that made you think they weren't even attached to the book anymore. They were just smashed between other pages to keep them in place. The thing you noticed most were the colors. Tan with dark brown lines. So you wrote my name. Tamarack squealed, bounding closer to you. She and you had the same idea at the very same time. It was the paper from the airplane. Chiyu flipped open the book, tapped in a slow, considering rhythm at the front page with the back of his knuckles, and said what you wanted to know without you having to do anything. That's my special paper, with my notes on it, but it's not in my notebook. It was in your pocket. Well, yeah, why does it have my name on it? You must have done the thing that's sleight of hand? Sleight of hand? That's what you did to snatch my stuff in the blink of an eye while I was standing right here. So you're a magician, or a pickpocket. That's all it could be. He shifted his feet, putting one hand to his hip and using the other to make a waggling gesture with the notebook. Chiyu was really confident in his accusation against you. Can you show me how you do it? That wavy motion Chiyu did was too much for the old notebook. It bent in half upwards and downwards with the momentum of its owner's arms. Some of the papers slid out. They drifted to the ground lightly, the same way leaves fell from trees. You stared right at them, sitting there freely like that. Chiyu didn't. You lost it, Chiyu. You're right, I don't know how that paper ended up in the woods. You were being sarcastic. Maybe you just lost a paper and that's how Tamarack found it? I already showed you my trick. You didn't notice by the look at the ground. Fingers at the ground. He wanted to show you something. Show him so you would. You know what? Yeah, we'll play it off. I've already showed you my trick. You didn't notice, but look at the ground. Huh? Chiyu's eyes widened. He lifted the notebook over his head and twisted his feet outwards, more to fully clear his view of the grass below. Finally, he spotted the missing pages. Whoa, thanks! In the middle of talking, he dropped to his knees to scoop up the loose papers. It only took a second for each one to be gathered. He leaned off his knees onto his butt and made a little oof sound. From there, he got his feet against the ground while pushing up with his hands still clutching the papers so he could stand again. With that successful rescue mission done, Chiyu delicately flipped through the notebook, inserting the loose papers along the way between different pages. He went all the way to the end. Then Chiyu's complete book was pressed shut once more. Hey, that really helped, Tay. A beaming smile directed right into your face almost had you covering your eyes. Before that happened, he looked away. Chiyu twisted to the side to better rummage inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. He made super sure that the entire stack of papers made it back safely this time. You heard a sigh of relief. An even swooping move, Chiyu tilted his head back over his shoulder to reveal his face again. The bright expression from before was completely gone. He had that smirk again. So, did you see that? I didn't lose anything. Oh my god, there's 2 pages of stuff? Whoa. You know what, we'll say that Chi was cool. You annoyingly had to admit to yourself. Chiu's fun with your reaction came out as a set of snickers. His cheeky mood drifted away once those were done. Chiu twisted to the side to better rummage inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. He made sure that the notebook made it back to his normal spot. When he tilted his face back towards you, he was quiet and thoughtful. This is very mysterious. My paper vanished, and 2 new kids appeared in my backyard, all out of nowhere. I don't get it. I'm your neighbor. I moved into the middle house today. Oh, the new neighbors. That's right. That's you. It makes so much sense. Except for her. Who the fuck is her? His growing excitement scrounged into confusion. Chiu brought a hand to his chin while also pointing squarely at Tamarack with the other one. I'm pretty positive there was only going to be one new kid moving in. Unless you're Tay's mom. Yeah, totally. Tamarack was completely tickled by the idea, giggling and covering her mouth with her hands. She didn't do a good job at stopping any laughter from getting out. No, I'm not a mom. I moved in with my Omi and Opa. Omi and Opa? I've never heard of that. Is it another language? Uh-huh. It's German. And they're German. Cool. Thanks. But they already had a house here. It's the gray one. Whoa. There's a granny who lives there and a guy that's her husband. That's your Omi and Opa? I think so. Probably. Omi has really long hair. Opa has short hair and some of it is on his face. Omi and Opa means granny and grandpa. Yeah. Chiu bobbed his head up and down with great understanding. Granny and him have a kid now, huh? Wow. Then Chiu shook his head to side, flopping dark brown strands of hair around and trying to sort out his thoughts. But if you're just new neighbors, not thieves or sorcerers, how'd you know that was my paper? I didn't know, not for sure. What? You were showing my notes off to everyone you saw in the world? Huh? You knew it would be a long story, so you took a huge breath. Tarek put her fist up eagerly in her own preparation to talk about what she had done. I got here today with my mom. She's waiting for the real estate agent, so I had to go spend time doing something. I went down the road and a paper airplane hit me in the shoulder and nobody was there. That was me. I threw it and ran away. It was great. I picked it up and opened the plane and saw the stuff written on it. I thought the person throwing the plane was trying to give me a message. But that wasn't me who wrote it. Right. Then Tay went into the forest after, and I surprised him by jumping out of the leaves. Chiu nodded along, probably not getting everything you were talking about, but curious enough to just keep listening. And then I talked to her about the paper airplane I found, and she told me what we said. That she made the plane but didn't write what was on it. I asked where she got it. Tamarack chimed in again as your story continued to bounce back and forth between the two of you. I found it on the ground, in the woods. It already had the note, but I didn't think it was important at first. Tay made me wonder about it. We were out to discover the word writer. And it was you. Huh? Chiu put his hands on his hips as he thought hard about the info he'd learned from you. You're saying all this was random stuff for fun? I guess so. But if you are the one who wrote that, how'd you know my name? That was on the note. And what were those other words supposed to mean? Hello? Go out? Hide out? Tay Holton. It doesn't make any sense. Oh. Chiu cracked a smile and flicked out his arms to start his own explanation. That's just stuff I was gonna do. Okay, but what about me? Counting 1, 2, 3 on his fingers, Chiu listed off each part of the letter simply. Hello, say hi to the people around. Go out, visit the town or another neighborhood or whatever. Hideout means go to my hideout, which is this place. Chiu stopped the countdown to pat the sturdy wooden wall behind him with pride. Right here. Oh, I like your hideout. That's all stupid you said, Charlie. That's so stupid, you said amused. Hey, don't blame me. I'm not the one who made it. You read it. Alright, yeah, for your name being there, my mom and dad told me. Talk to me about, oh, people were moving in next door and how they were going to be a kid my age, and his name was Tay Holton. Oh, it was cool to meet. It was cool to me, so I wrote it down. That way I wouldn't forget. And I even took out and read that page a lot to make sure it'd be something I remembered. Looks like I forgot after all. You're such a scatterbrain, you said fondly. I can't believe you forgot who I was after your parents told you everything. I forgot because you lost the paper. I kind of like talking shit with him, not gonna lie. You're such a scatterbrain, you said fondly. Chiyu patted the front of his jacket with all the surety in the world. You guessed that was where the pocket with the notebook was set. More like an organized brain. Oh, I get like my bad. That's pretty crazy with the paper airplane. It's really impressive that you two put the whole thing together. He was right. You and Tamarack had not been able to discover the whole story. I don't know, it felt good. This means you didn't lose that page out there somewhere. So, what was that about never losing things to you? No, we're gonna say I was proud of myself. Realized suddenly how late it must have gotten. Your mom would start to worry soon. That wasn't good. Your turning thoughts were put on pause when Chiyu suddenly changed the subject. Hey, Tamarack, I'll walk you around back to the front. I want to hang out more. I should probably see how Omi and Oppa are. They're pretty old and I need to help sometimes. Yeah, we could all go back together. Sorry, me and Tamarack are going together without you. No, you should stay here. Me and Tamarack are going on our own. Jesus. Now let it be a little duo, or not duo, a trio. Yes, I was gonna ask that. Well, okay, if you're both sure, so I want to be by myself. None of you people. That's not an agreement. You can leave Tamarack as well, which is crazy. You relax your stance, accepting that this was really over now. Yay! Her cheer had extra pizzazz, because she still had that stick to point up high. To our houses! While chuckling, Chiyu used his fist to enthusiastically punch the air and match Tamarack's pose. Homeward bound. This is really nice. We're gonna be a successful. We're going back as successful people. All right, you two are loud. You smile at them in agreement. You watched the two in shy silence. You were filled with confidence. You couldn't have been more victorious. Join the celebration. You clapped your hands. I watched in shy silence. I'm a shyer person. And so you started to walk through the yellowed fall grass to get to the neighborhood again. But you weren't going to be alone there. Tamarack bounded ahead, bouncing her arms up and down with the stick like she was the conductor of a marching band, while Chiyu came alongside you with even, casual steps. You were returning to the house. Your neighborhood had become even more orange-toned by the time you finally returned to it. That far-off sun slowly sank away behind the tallest mountain and forced to sleep for the night. Your shadows grew larger, pulling away from your bodies to reach out into the street ahead. The dark shapes morphed and combined with one another as you walked into your own mismatched rhythm. All while the eyeball chillingness of the outside world got more powerful bit by bit. Tamarack still stayed about 2 steps ahead. Sometimes she was closer and sometimes she got away from you again. She used her stick to knock at the bushes and lamps along the sidewalk. Chiyu was next to you but had switched things up so that he was taking large steps backwards. Yes, it was to look at you in the face better. Or he just thought it was fun. Point out the sharpest building and the street as he went. Part of it looked almost like a tower, a different kind than the one in the backyard. See, that's the house from the front. It's great. I'm assuming it's this one? And that's your house, right? The one in the middle? And Granny owns that even further away one. Cool. The sound of your steps continued to echo throughout the cul-de-sac until you came to a stop, right in the center of the path. You'd arrived. Tamarack put both her hands up in front of her chest and waved them around. I'm going home. Tamarack spun in place before dashing further along the sidewalk to the sloped gray house on the other end of the neighborhood. So this one's her house. Her bag clunked and jingled at her side the whole way there. Bye. Okay, this is it. Q pulled out an eager grin. We gotta meet up again later. See you. Chiu flipped around to go back to the same way he had come with Hugh. He indeed needed to return to the pointy red house. This one, yeah, with the huge backyard. He didn't drop any papers this time. He waited there in front of the house in the dimming evening light, watching the two other kids go to their homes right on the same street. I give a wave goodbye. They were cool peeps. That was everything. The whole outing was done. In the quiet resolution of your first day in this place, the two encounters you had earlier that afternoon drifted through your head. Tamarack and Chiu. Now you're at the stage where you'll get to set your dynamic with Tamarack and Chiu. Our Life Now and Forever has a specific way of constructing the personalized relationships you have with the two neighbors you grew up with. It's called dynamics. This encompasses how your character and that character feel about one another and how they generally interact with each other. It doesn't determine if your character is shy or confident or sociable or unsociable. That's done through the phrasing, actions you pick, and normal choices, right? This is only setting how you and the two leads tend to think approaching things on top line level. These settings can be the same for both Tamarack and Chiu or be entirely different for one over the other. The first part of the dynamic system is what you set for your relationship standing. Your relationship standing is always mutual with the other character. Cool. It's also to change your standing at the start of each step and even at certain points within a step, at least normally. There are some settings that can't be changed once you pick them. The 5 main options for your relationship standing are neighbors, friends, family, crushes, or beloveds. Neighbors means there's someone you know and it's nothing more meaningful than that. Whether it's still amicable or completely cold or even hostile is up to you, geez. Friends mean that you're friends. While on this standing, it's possible to go even deeper and have them be your very best friend. That's not set on the dynamic screen, it's a normal choice. Family means that you truly love them and will always keep them in your life in a fully platonic way. You can't choose to love someone this deeply until later steps once you've known them longer. You'll also be able to change the setting to anything else once you picked it. It's completely certain and unwavering, which makes sense. It's like you're friend zoning someone in a way. You can bring both Tamarack and Chiu into your proverbial family. Crushes means that you and them have crushes on each other. While on this standing, you can keep your feelings a secret and act as though you're only friends, best friends, or it can be known that you're romantically interested. Later in the game, you can also officially go steady with Tamarack or Chiu if you begin dating one of them. Your standing on the dynamic screen will change to partners instead of crushes. Ooh! It's possible to be crushing on Tamarack and Chiu at the same time, and for most of the game, you can only get into an actual romantic relationship with one. In step 4, a polyamorous relationship can be pursued if you want. Whoa! The way that will work is that Chiu and Tamarack will be in a committed platonic relationship with each other and can be in a committed platonic romantic relationship with the MC. Chiu and Tamarack won't be romantically involved with each other regardless of the choices the MC makes. If you do date one or both, you can't break up with them. The partner status can't go away once you get it. It is possible to change simply crushes to one of the other options if you want to. Beloveds mean that you truly love them and will always keep them in your life in a clearly romantic way. You can't choose to love someone this deeply until later steps once you've known them longer. You also won't be able to change the setting into anything else once you picked it. It's completely certain and unwavering. Like crushes, the romantic feelings can be known, a secret, or you can be official partners. If you're at that setting, you'll also unlock the possibility of getting engaged and changing your relationship status to fiancés. There's no requirements to get married or even date. What you do or don't do with your feelings of love is up to you. The leads will respect your set boundaries. If you're beloveds and make choices where you're hoping to get married but haven't asked yourself, your partner could be the one to propose instead. Ooh. MC will accept that proposal by default because the game believes they want that. You can't convince your partner to think marriage is a good idea and then reject them when they pursue it. That's part of one of the dynamics. The second part is expression elements. This is how you and the other character generally interact with each other. Like relationship standing, expression elements are determined separately from Tamarack and for Chiu. It doesn't have to be the same for both, but expression elements don't have to be mutual between you, your character, and Tamarack Chiu. They have their own ways of convincing themselves, and your character gets to have theirs. Expression elements are broken down further into 3 meters. with 3 choices per meter. Meter 1, deferring, teamwork, contesting. Meter 2, praising, unassuming, teasing. Meter 3, dotting, accepting, admiring. For meter 1, you can use it to determine if your character is a follower or goes with the flow using deferring, a collaborator or compromising using teamworking, or tries to be the leader or decision maker whether the other person actually wants to follow them or not using contesting. So I'm deferring, teamwork, and contesting. I can choose any of those. For meter 2, it determines if your character is the type of person to go out of their way to make comments on other person, what they do. If not, they're unassuming. If so, the comments can be complimentary or even flirty if praising, or they can be joking or giving the other person a hard time if teasing. You get to control the phrasing intentions throughout the choices. Meter 3 can be set to determine how your character views Tamarack and Chiyo. Do they feel the need to look out for them, or that they're on the same level as each other, or that the other person is more incredible than most? Whenever you first meet Chiyo and Tamarack in the story, they can go with their normal kind of behavior for their interactions with your character. Because of that, their expression elements are always the same in Step 1. Step 1, Chiyo, teamworking, teasing, and dotting. Step 1, Tamarack, contesting, praising, accepting. As you spend more time with Tamarack and Chiyo, they'll get to know your character better, and in each of the next steps, their expression elements can change to match that. If, for example, you're friends with Tamarack and express displeasure whenever she insists on getting her way, she'll notice that. In Step 2, instead of contesting, she could be teamworking with your character, even deferring depending on the details. Their connection with your character will develop organically. Though in further steps, you'll have the option of customizing the expression elements if you want to make sure you play through a specific feel. And starting in Step 2, and if you're more than just neighbors, a 4th expression element meter unlocks. Meter 4, envious of, not jealous, or jealous over. So one of the characters envious of life, appearance, abilities, relationships, or something else in the person, depending on the specific involved. Jealous over means that they're just going to think that the person seems to like someone else more. Okay. Okay. You'll have a trusting personal dynamic to you. It's compose the steps you're in, and when going from step to step. If you used to be friends than if you were crushing from the start. Okay, cool. We hope you'll enjoy the connection you create with Tamarack and Chiyo. Alright, bet. So, real quick, doesn't look blazing enough. Here we go again. I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back. And then we can see if we can finish out this thing. So I'll be like right back.